Welcome to the Poker Cannonball.
Welcome to Papa Poker's Cannonball Run. Red Ball Garage in the background. The goal, capture the flag, do a cash in a poker tournament, state by state across the country. New York is state number 1. Then let's do New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, Oklahoma. Oh, throw Missouri in there. Missouri, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, California. Can we cash in all those states? How fast can we do it? Happy Halloween, everybody, from Club Jack, where we just finished first in the daily. There is a way to cross from Kentucky to Missouri. There's a ferry. There's a problem. Ferry closed, water low. Ferry closed, water low. Ferry closed, water low. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that notification bell. I'd really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy this video. All right, we'll get into this in a second, but we are in a rush. So in the hotel room, we grabbed a couple of our instant oatmeal packets, mixed them up, and we're eating oatmeal on the road, seeing how fast we can get to Chicago. Okay, here's the official update. We cannot get directly from Kentucky to Missouri. There's only one way. It would have helped to research this ahead of time. There's only one way to get from Missouri to Kentucky. It involves a ferry, the Darina Hickman Ferry. I was messaging the people from the ferry on Facebook, pleading with them to open the ferry so we could go straight to Missouri and be in St. Louis playing poker today. But the water is not deep enough. It's nowhere near deep enough. It was raining all day yesterday. I was hoping that would help. The pilots checked this morning. No dice. So what to do? Do we wait out the ferry? They said it's going to be days and days. It could be like 5-6 days. I checked the map. I looked at all sorts of ways around. There's no poker in Tennessee, no organized poker. The only shot seems to be drive into Illinois, drive north. Now the cool thing is all that driving I did in Kentucky last night, it did allow us to skip Indiana. Needed to do that anyway. Stayed in Mayfield, Kentucky. So what do we got to do next? Drive to Illinois. Where's the poker? Is there any poker in Southern Illinois? No. Have to drive to Chicago. 5.5 hours. Chicago is not the most efficient location in this whole drive. Before this drive from New York to, let's say, LA, very efficient, just a straight line. Now, total right turn, head north to Chicago, and we got to try and cash as fast as possible. In Illinois, it's similar to Kentucky. These Kentucky tournaments were, I think all of them were these card rooms where you had to become a member. Not that exciting. Sort of not as organized, a little bit more low scale. It felt like just hanging out with some friends in Kentucky, which was fun. But we ended up at a one-table situation in Kentucky. It looks like Illinois is somewhat similar. But they have organized poker. You go on Poker Atlas. There are poker tournaments. So we're off to Chicago. We have now crossed from Kentucky over the Ohio River into Illinois. So we're now on a 10-state route at a minimum. We've entered Illinois. We have to cash in Illinois. I did not plan on this. I did not buy a hockey jersey for Chicago. The only poker tournaments are up by Chicago, so there's nothing in Southern Illinois. Have to drive from literally the bottom of Illinois, 5 hours. Illinois is a long state north to south. Get up to Chicago. Tournaments tonight through the Chicago Charitable Games. It's part of Poker Atlas. They've got events, several tonight. I think it's going to have a Kentucky type feel. Kentucky, we were just in sort of a local card room. You had to sign up as a member. Here, Chicago Charitable Games. Every poker tournament, a small percentage goes to the charity or establishment that's hosting this. We're going to be at Bridgeview Community Center. So we're driving straight to Bridgeview. If we don't run into traffic, there should be 3 tournaments tonight. There should be a 4. There was a 2 o'clock we're missing. There's a 4 o'clock. Then I think there's a 6:15. And then there's an 8:30. So 3 stabs at Chicago in 1 location. Got to roll the dice and see if we can get it done. In Pennsylvania, we needed 5 chances. In New York, we needed 5 chances. We'll see. It would be great to check off Illinois, which wasn't even planned, as soon as we can. If we didn't get to do this drive, I would have never seen Cross at the Crossroads. I can still see it in my rearview mirror. That cross is huge. Huge. It was listed as a tourist attraction. Exit 159, Cross at the Crossroads. We're headed to Chicago Charitable Games, listed in Poker Atlas. Several tournaments today. It's Thursday. I was just texting them. I've not stopped since the hotel in Maynard, Kentucky. Trying to drive straight through, no bathroom break. Had a banana as a snack. Here are my bananas from Wall Barn last night. Club Jack right next to Walmart, so I grabbed some bananas and some water to supply the car with. So we're on our way. I guess how it works in Chicago is the laws say that you can only have tournaments at a particular location every once in a while. I'm not stopping. Do they have food? I texted them. They said just hot dogs and chips. Little did they know I'm such a plain eater that hot dogs sounds like a plan. The guy behind me flashing me, so he just pulled to the right, let him by. But we're gonna drive on. We're looking forward to hot dogs. We got bananas as a snack. I got a cookie or 2 from Walmart as well. But if we could have taken a car ferry as part of the trip, that would have rocked. Water level too low. Had to move on, had to come up with an alternate plan on the fly, and that meant going to Illinois. And of course, there's no tournaments in Southern Illinois. We are driving all the way to Chicago, totally out of the way. But we are now moments away. We are in the final stretch of this drive. Been through some construction, but so far traffic's been good. Driving straight through, and I think we're leaving at the hotel at roughly 10:30 a.m., 11 a.m., and trying to get to this poker tournament by 4:05, and it kicks off at 4. The early tournament is 4 o'clock. There was a 2 o'clock we're missing. The 4 o'clock, 12-minute blind level, so it's certainly a turbo. But we'll drive in and see how we can do. Bridgeview Community Center. They've got some games today. I didn't know what jersey to wear. Gretzky's comfortable. I think Gretzky applies in all markets. If I'd known I was coming to Illinois, I would have gotten a Blackhawks jersey. But what's done is done. We're here in Illinois. We've got 3 games today. Let's see what we can do, and let's rock out Bridgeview Community Center. Let's go and play some cards. Friday, November 1st, 4 p.m., CCG Poker in Bridgeview. $45 to enter, 10,000 starting stack, no antes, 12-minute levels. Obligatory 100, 200. Under the gun player. All in for 2,000. We barely sat down. Already facing an all in now. The starting stack is 10,000. So we have this all in Well covered, folds around to us in the small blind, ace-jack suited. During the rebuy period, this looks good enough to go. I push all in. Let's make it 10,000. That's scary enough for the big blind to fold, and it's mono a mono. I flip over the ace-jack. My opponent, ace-10 off. We have a dominant position. Let's pick up 2,000 chips here. Let's go. Flippity floppity. King of diamonds, 7 of spades, 5 of clubs. That works. Still some outs for our opponent. The turn, 7 of hearts. Add some chop outs for our opponent. The river, queen of diamonds. Oh! So much for those 2,000 chips I was counting. It's a chop. Obligatory 200, 400. Action folds around to the hijack. The guy to my right named Nick, comedian in Chicago, knows Ryan DePaulo. He bets 1,300. Total stack 7,300. Quite a big bet. I'm in the cutoff. Look down. Pocket queens. Throughout this run, early on in tournaments, I'm trying to build a stack during the rebuy period. Pocket queens, good enough to go. Push all in. My 10,000 bet, big enough to push out the blinds. Folds back around to the hijack, and Nick calls. He puts in the remaining 6,000 behind. And we are all in up against each other. I've got queens. Nick has ace-king suited. All right, essentially a flip. I'll take it during the rebuy portion of the tournament. Flippity floppity. Jack of diamonds. King of diamonds. 3 of hearts. All right, well, at least it's not too long a walk to the rebuy area. The turn. Queen of diamonds. Whoa. All right. Now Nick has to be eyeing that rebuy portion of the building. The river. 7 of hearts. And we're sending Nick packing. No, he's not really packing. He's headed straight to the rebuy area. We pick up like 80% of our starting stack. And this will help us get going in this tournament. Obligatory 200, 400. Under the gun +1 calls the 400. Action folds around to me in the hijack. I have king, queen off. This table has been playing a little on the passive side. These look good enough. Raise it up, 1,500. Over to the button. The button playing 3,700 in chips decides to push all in. That scares off the blinds. The blinds fold. Under the gun +1 folds. We've got a lot of chips. We make the call, and it is just the 2 of us. I show king, queen off. The button shows jack 7 suited. We'll take that. We're way ahead, I guess. The button figuring 2 live cards that are suited. Still the rebuy period. Flippity floppity. 10 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, 7 of diamonds. Oh no! Our opponent hit a pair. Where did that come from? The turn. 2 of diamonds. That's a brick. Not helpful. The river. 8 of diamonds. And we are out 3,700. And our chip stack takes a hit. All right, we'll dine and dash. We got a hot dog, and this will work as a snack, and we'll see what we do for dinner later. Comment below, what's your favorite food or snack in the poker room? Obligatory 400, 800. I'm in the cutoff with pocket aces. Pocket rockets, let's go. Action folds around to me, and I say, raise it up. 1,200. Dealer starts shaking his head at me. Oh, the min raise is 1,600. I guess I was thinking about the previous level. I duck my head in shame and push in 400 more chips. The bet now, 1,600. The button folds, small blind, calls, and we are off to some action. Flippity floppity. 6 of hearts, jack of spades, 6 of clubs. With that flop, the small blind doesn't take long. The small blind pushes all in for 6,000 more. I am so excited. Will the big blind call too? I've got aces. What do they have? This is fantastic. Now I keep trying to see what the big blind's going to do. Is she going to go all in as well? I'm trying not to make a move. I don't want to let anyone at the table know how excited I am about possibly even getting 2 callers with my aces. So we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting, and middle position gets very frustrated, and middle position goes clock. And I'm like, thank goodness. I didn't feel like I could call clock on the big blind because, you know, I don't want to be that player. But if someone else wants to do it, no problem. And then the clock was called on me. The big blind had folded. I had not figured out that she folded. And I had been waiting for the big blind to act after the flop. So it turned out I was the one who got the clock called on him. Such a disaster. Within seconds, I'm like all in, call, whatever. I show my aces. My opponent flips over. King of clubs, jack of clubs. So the top pair on the board, but our aces are still good. The turn, 7 of hearts. We're still in good shape. And the river, king of hearts. And my opponent, very excited about that king showing up. But of course, aces and sixes beats kings and jacks. And we are the winner. And we knock out our opponent and pick up some chips. Obligatory 500, 1,000. The under the gun player, she's playing with 50,000 in chips in front of her, and she's been opening wide the whole time I've been at the table with her. She makes the call for 1,000. Folds around to me. I'm on the button with ace of clubs, 7 of clubs. Now, normally, I like to stay away from ace-x suited. It just gets me into trouble. We're on the button. We know she's opening wide. It's a hand that's an obvious raise on the button. So we raise it up to 4,000. Small blind folds, big blind folds, back to her, and she makes the call. Flippity floppity. King of hearts, 8 of spades, 3 of clubs. Action on her. She checks. Board looks fine enough despite us missing it. We continuation bet 5,500. She assesses everything, looks at the board, and she folds. As she folds, she flips over the queen of clubs. Okay, you had a queen. For our stack, this is a nice little pickup. Obligatory 800, 1,600. Playing 7-handed, roughly 21 players left in the field. Action on the cutoff. The cutoff calls 1,600. Button folds, small blind folds. I am the big blind. Look down. Pocket tens. Raise. Let's raise this puppy up with our tens. Make it 5,800. This hand was quick. The cutoff thought for a second and folded. We'll take it. Anytime you can just guarantee a win without a showdown, that's a positive, especially with tens. We take home some chips. We're at the second break of the 4:30. It's 6:48 p.m. now. All right, you're in the final 12 still, right?
We're in the final 12,
in the
baby.
final
We're
12.
winning it. We taking it down.
We're going to take it down
no
now.
Question.
Like if we're one away from the money, take it easy on me.
No,
right?
we shop it, bro. we shop it.
All right. Sounds good. What's your name, man?
I'm Duck, bro.
Doug?
Duck.
Awesome.
Duck. D-U-C-K. Duck.
Oh, Duck. Okay,
Yeah.
Duck.
Chicago's greatest. You already know.
There we go. Have you played at Bridgeview Community Center before?
No, I mean, this is a group. This is a charity group.
Yeah, like
so,
the Charitable.
Yeah, and they move around to different spots. So
Yeah.
I always play this organization. organization, you know.
Very
It's
cool. This is my first time here, but this
and you got to come back, bro. It's a good time, bro.
I got to tell you, everyone's really good. Though.
It's cool.
Like
I mean, you don't have that many chips to really do a whole lot with.
Right.
So
We're in
like,
a lottery tournament.
bro.
This one. Yeah.
Someone just jammed with ace 6, and someone called them with ace 3.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying?
but the blinds are getting pretty high right now.
Oh, the blinds are very high. It's pretty much all in right now.
All right.
Are you gonna play the 630?
Yeah, I'll be in the 630. I'll be in the 830. We just got to keep playing. We're gonna go and go.
That's what's up,
all right,
bro.
Doc.
Thank you, man.
Have a good one. All right. Don't tell Doc. Chicago players. I don't care if we're at like the bingo hall. The Chicago players are much better than the Kentucky players. Now maybe it was just Club Jack. So Kentucky, I'm sure you're fine too. But last night we could read, what everyone was doing pretty easily. Tonight we've seen some good players, aggressive, conservative. And as Duck said, the blinds are going crazy. There's 12 of us left. This is 12-minute levels and we're about to hit 2-4. I only got like 26,000 in chips. So it's all in or fold and we'll hope for a double up. Final table.
The 8-seater
Seat 7. We're actually 9-handed at the final table. So final table. Still not many chips. Obligatory 3,000, 6,000, and to say we are short-handed is an understatement. We are alive at the final table, under the gun +1, immediately, quickly, all in for 70,000. Yikes! Folds around, I look down on the button, king, queen, off. That's obviously good enough. We call the all in. We are all in for our tournament life. Everyone else gets out of the way. Turn them over. Under the gun +1. Pocket 9s. All right, we're alive. This is a flip. We'll take it. Flippity floppity. 2 of hearts. 2 of clubs. King of diamonds. We hit our king. Let's go. Now, can we hold on? The turn. Ace. The river, 5, and we have at least enough chips to play. All right, we can breathe. Obligatory 3,000, 6,000, playing 8-handed at the final table. I'm under the gun +1, look down, ace, king off. That looks pretty good. All in, 43,000. Folds over to the cutoff. The cutoff also goes all in for 31,000. Just the 2 of us. Flip them over. I show ace, king off. Cutoff has ace, jack suited. I like where we are. Flippity floppity. King of diamonds, 2 of clubs, 2 of spades. What a flop. The turn, 3 of diamonds. The river, 4 of hearts. We knock out the cutoff, the last hand at 3,000, 6,000, and we are starting to make some hay. Obligatory 4,000, 8,000, 7-handed at the final table. Under the gun player, all in, 38,000. Folds around, I'm on the button. I look down, ace 10 off. Ace 10, very good. Under the gun player, under huge blind pressure. About to become the big blind. Got to get it in, right? I don't know. He was just super strong the way he played this hand. The way I read him, he had something good. Ace 10, I know it's supposed to be good, but is it good? Oh, this is probably not the right play. I have him well covered. I fold my ace 10. Small blind folds, big blind folds. Under the gun, takes the pot. As he takes the pot, he shows ace of hearts, king of hearts. I would have been dominated. I like my fold. Not that I'm results oriented. Obligatory 4,000, 8,000, playing 7-handed at the final table. Folds around to me in the hijack. Pocket queens. Well, when you're playing this short-handed and the blinds are so crazy, we will take these good hands. Pocket queens works. All in, 64,000. Everybody folds. We're up to 76,000. Obligatory 4,000, 8,000, under the gun, pocket twos. I like a pocket pair. We don't have a full table. I don't know, I'm under the gun. There's a lot of players after me in pocket twos. I don't know, so many things can dominate pocket twos. We fold. We thought about it. We took our time. And then we folded our twos. Under the gun +1 bets 25,000. The big blind goes all in. Under the gun +1 folds. Everyone is folded. Big blind shows pocket queens, queen of clubs, queen of diamonds. And I'm very happy I folded my twos. Obligatory 5,000, 10,000. Final table, and the blinds are eating us alive. Under the gun player, just 23,000 in chips, all in. Under the gun +1, 51,000 in chips, all in. Two players all in. I'm in the big blind. I put 10,000 in this pot already. Folds around to me in the big blind. I look down. Ace of clubs, ace of hearts. Woo! Someone's going to get knocked out, but we got to play our aces. All in, 71,000. Three players all in. What does everybody have? We've got aces. Flip them over. Under the gun, pocket jacks. Under the gun +1, pocket fives. Whoa! Flippity floppity. 7 of spades. 7 of diamonds. 7 of hearts. What? You get a full house. You get a full house. You get a full house. Full houses for everyone. We like this flop. The turn, 4 of spades. The river, 5 of hearts. What? Under the gun +1 gets his 5, but it's no good. Aces and 3 sevens beats 7s and 2 5s. We take it home. We knock out 2 players in one fell swoop. Freddie, we made the final table.
That's right. Hopefully, with the last, the
Final four. We're final four.
Final
Paid
four.
top 5.
Yep.
Do you play this a lot?
I've been here quite a few times here. So,
Okay.
I've only cashed out maybe 2-3 times.
Okay.
I've been here maybe 10 times at the most.
Well, that's a pretty good percentage, though. They only pay top 10%.
But it's a pretty good charity, basically.
Yeah.
So,
helping the charity, getting the tournament going.
Yes, sir.
Well, as I mentioned to you, I needed the cash, and it was like 46 players, I think. And so,
Was it 46?
46 or 47? I think 47 players.
We're doing good.
We paid top 5. We are now in the final 4.
Yes, sir.
We got one low stack, Duck,
Yes.
but he could jump up. Like, he's really good. He's really good. So.
Oh, yes? You played with him before?
No, this is
is
my
the
first time.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, from what do you see?
Yeah,
right
from
now?
what I've seen, I think
Yeah.
he knows what he's doing.
All right, but hey, wish you luck, man.
Yeah, good luck. I'll be off to
Safe
Missouri
trip
very
to-
soon.
Safe trip to Missouri, and you have extra cash over there too.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Well, Freddie, it's great playing with you, and we'll see you back at the final table. Obligatory 8,000, 16,000. Under the gun player folds. I'm on the button with ace-6 off. Raise it up. 60,000. We've got the ace. Let's make the raise. Small blind folds. Duck in the big blind. 50,000 chips total, including the 16,000 blind. He makes the call, essentially puts him all in with his 50,000 in chips. He shows queen of spades, 8 of spades, and we are on to the flop. Flippity floppity. 9 of hearts, 6 of spades, 4 of spades, all sorts of outs for Duck. He's got the flush opportunity. The turn, king of clubs. We dodge one there. The river. 5 of diamonds, Duck misses, and we take him out and send another player packing.
Good luck, bro.
Yeah, hey, nice playing with you. Do you want to chop it all, or?
I'm okay with the chop. You go with that. You want to add it all up?
Obligatory 8,000, 16,000. These blinds are ridiculous. We decide to chop. $1,120 prize for the top 3. I take 380 for first. Freddie and Lionel take 370 each, tying for second. Achievement unlocked. All right, Chicago Charitable Games. Woohoo! First place, $380. $380. We'll take it. This is crazy. Tournament. First place here, back to back. It was like back to back. I mean, I chopped all three. So chop, but like top and chips in the last 3 days in 3 different states on to Missouri. There's not a lot of time. So these guys are a lot of fun to play with, but we got to run. We got to get on the road to Kansas City. It's like an 8-hour drive and the tournament's in the morning. And I messed up daylight savings. It's not tonight, it's the next night. All right, so we're getting on the road. We'll see you from the car. Thank you, China Charitable Games. The 431, one and done. Played one tournament. We had backups. We had a nightly and then a night owl, but no need. We took it home and we're back on the road. It is late at night. We are here in good old Illinois. We were up in Chicago Charitable Games. We've now driven down the highway. We are here in Funky Grove. So we just passed through Bloomington. We're gonna shoot down to Springfield and then over, and we're gonna come in on Missouri and then start shooting across Missouri. One cool thing, it's the good old Route 66. Look at this stuff. Route 66, the National AAA Award, the 66 News. I've been on Route 66 in Arizona before. I think we see Route 66 wrap up in California. But how cool is this? Illinois Route 66. Kicking in the kitchen. Historic Route 66. So many cool signs. With my daughter, we're always watching those shows on A&E with American Pickers and all the cool signs you can find. Historic Route 66. Obviously 66. And just driving across the country is so cool to see this stuff and be sparked by it. Obviously there's an Illinois tie-in here, but so much fun. And maybe it's not Funky Grove, Funk's Grove, sorry, Funk's Grove. When I was a kid, we used the word funky quite a bit when I was in 3rd grade. But this is our stop here in Illinois. We're wrapping up and we're gonna head on over to Missouri. At the end of each video, I'm putting a P&L of how I'm doing on the trip. Please check that out. Now let's talk to Ken Kaulen from CCG Poker, responsible for charity poker throughout Chicagoland. Had the wonderful opportunity to play at the Bridgeview Community Center on November 1st and had never heard of, I think, Chicago Charitable Games until the morning of November 1st. So I wanted to sort of bring you on board to maybe first introduce yourself, and then we'd love to talk to you a little bit about CCG.
Sure. Yeah, CCG is a charity poker company, which is a little bit different. It's definitely, it's a state law that allows for charity poker. Going back, oh boy, I started Chicago Charitable Games almost 20 years ago, about 18 years ago. I think, yeah, this will be the 19th season coming up at the end of 2024. Good Lord, it's weird to say. But yeah, what we do is we help not-for-profits raise money through poker events. But we don't do it like most people, when they think of charity poker, they think, like card tables with like green felt, and they keep all the money, and the players are really playing for a trophy for the fireman's club or whatever it might be. And we don't think of it. We try to give it where we're based for the poker players, right? We want them to enjoy the tournament just as much as the charity wants to raise money. So we're kind of that happy marriage between a real casino, World Series of Poker, big poker tour type of event. Not quite that large, but going towards that scale versus your home game using bicycle decks and bicycle chips for a charity event. So yeah, we're glad you came out and saw us.
Well, I have a general rule, which is, and it perhaps sort of echoes what you just said, don't play charity events because they're not real poker.
No.
Like the poker charity events that I've played, it's about rebuy fiesta. Let's raise as much money as possible. Right. And then at some
really
point,
has nothing to do with poker.
Yeah. And then at some point during the night, like blind levels mean nothing. And all of a sudden it's just like, blah, 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 the rules change, and, it's not necessarily, a real poker event because it's got to end at, 3 hours in or something like that. And so I saw this listed on Poker Atlas, did a little bit of due diligence as far as whether it was, a regular charity event or a real poker event. So that was sort of one of my questions is, you say it's for the players. Do players sort of view this as, real poker, so to speak?
I think the best way to kind of describe it is, and boy, it is my company, so I do like to describe it in a very positive light. We're a happy medium between, or kind of a middle ground between when you think of a casino and you think of like a home game, right? You get a lot of the benefits of a home game without any of the disadvantages, and you get a lot of the advantages of a casino without the disadvantages, right? So we kind of fall somewhere in the middle there. They are lower stakes buy-ins, right? I'm sure as you saw with the tournaments, we do a lot of 20s, a lot of 40s, a lot of 80s. The big deep stack of every event or every is typically like $120, right? So it's affordable. It's kind of a middle ground, for players that are up and coming that want to go from playing, 10 cents, 20 cents online or with their friends. Now they're going to play the $20 early bird. Most people go, ugh, $20 early bird. That sounds like awful. But if you're a new player and you're coming up, like that's what you want to play in. You want to be able to spread your $100, $200 around a lot better than just one or two tournaments. And when you get all the way to like the casino level of things, their bottom barrel tournaments are $100, $200. I mean, to them, those are throwaway tournaments, for the casino side of things. Whereas, those are kind of our top end events. So we kind of play a nice middle ground of, mediocre players. We're always gaining new players and we're kind of losing old players or, because they upgrade, right? Then they start going, you know what? I don't get as excited for the $120 Friday night deep stack. I want to play an $1,100 MSPT or WSOP or whatever the case may be. That kind of rhymed. That's what they're looking for. So we're there. It's like all the benefits of the home game without the disadvantages. Same for the casino. We're kind of that farm league is what I like to think of it as, right? Start out playing in your backyard, then you come to us. It's a farm league. And then when you want to make the big show is the, Vegas and the big casinos and playing bigger tournaments and stuff. So we kind of fit right in the middle there. And a lot of players, they always say, well, I got my start playing the early bird and the late night. And it's funny, Kind of Gold is on the Poker Go podcast. She's actually one of the co-hosts, but she started playing and she literally talks about it. Just came out. I just saw it on YouTube this morning when I was getting ready to talk to you. And I was like, oh shit. She literally talked about it. She's like, I played the late night, and it's like, then you start playing the deep stack, and then you start playing the once twice a month, 240s or $300 tournaments. And you're thinking, oh my God, a $300 tournament. And she's like, now you're playing $10,000 events. And it's all progressive, right? If you keep moving forward, and it's good for everybody.
Compared to some of the other tournaments across the U.S., I found some of the players that I was up against quite good. So, Chicago, a bigger city brings out the talent,
Yeah.
So I saw advanced plays. How it worked for me is I was sort of planning a trip across the U.S. where I would play poker in each different state. And I had planned to travel from Kentucky to Missouri because I was looking to always sort of play poker and cash in different states. And in checking, there's actually no roads that go from Kentucky to Missouri. There's a ferry that crosses, but they touch in this very small spot where there are no roads. And sort of the rules of this Poker Cannonball Run that I created were that you need to play poker, you need to cash in different states before you can change states. And so I couldn't go directly from Kentucky to Missouri, which meant on the morning of November 1st, I was looking up what poker tournaments could I play in Illinois, hopped on Poker Atlas. And the cool thing about CCG is there's a 2 o'clock, there's a 4 o'clock, there's an evening. And I'm like, okay, well, I can drive to Chicago, which from Kentucky is no easy drive. And, and then enter several tournaments in a row and hopefully figure out a way to cash as fast as possible. With my drive, I didn't make the 2 o'clock. So my first tournament was the 4 o'clock and ended up playing some very top quality players, doubled up early and ended up cashing, I think, taking home, a chop for first, but had a great run.
Casual brag. I'm going to chop first. It's fine. No, it's good. It's great.
There we go. Well, I had, like any poker cash, the cards sometimes helped and the play sometimes helped. So, it all worked out. But yeah, had a beautiful run. Got used to in that tournament, I guess there was no big blind ante, but like any
the
tournament.
4 o'clock is the Sunday special. Yeah. So we do it. It's, I think it's 25K starting stacks, 15-minute levels, or 20K starting stacks, 15-minute levels. And then, we do a no big blind ante. In that one, it's kind of like most of the tournaments do the big blind ante, but that's it's a Sunday special. It's a special event because when big blind ante came out, people got they did not enjoy it, even though it's the same thing. And I think it improves the game. It makes things faster and it's faster in the sense of players, they can move quicker. You get more hands in an hours. When I say faster, you get more bang for your buck. And, but man, there was a lot of pushback from the charity people. They were like, oh, no, big blind. That's like twice the big blind. I was like, well, yeah, that's why it's called that. This is good. This is where everybody's going. Everybody's we're creatures of habit, especially poker players, but that's funny.
Yeah, but obviously it was run just like a normal tournament, and maybe there's some beginners who can buy in at that lower level. But I also found, again, some advanced players who knew exactly what they were doing and coming from all parts of Chicago, and they were great to interact with. And you've got your clock and you've got your blinds increasing. It felt like the Poker Atlas tournament that I read about. So it all worked out very well.
Awesome. That's great.
Sort of there's a unique law that sort of means that you have to sort of switch around and do different locations, or how does this work?
So charities are limited to the number of events they can do a year. Venues are limited to the number of times you can be in one location. What they don't want you to do is set up in one shop, start a charity, and then have a poker room. That's not the way it is here in Illinois. We don't do that. So we're kind of this vagabond, poker circus that rolls around Chicago, and we set up a breakdown every day, and it is frustrating for a lot of new players because they're like, well, wait, why are you were in Oak Lawn yesterday? Why are you in Warrenville now? And it's like suburbs that are 45 minutes apart. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, you have to check and see where it's just the way it is. It's the way that charity poker, it's the way the state of Illinois allows them to do it. And, it is what it is. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's not. I mean, you get different groups of people that will go to different kind of like the locals from that particular area. So like Bridgeview has, kind of a certain crowd. And then when we're all the way up north in like Downers Grove, or I know I'm mentioning a bunch of Chicago suburbs, but regardless, you get in two different areas. And we got a lot of space out here. 12 million people or something, like 9 million people in the Chicagoland area. It's a lot, but it's funny the way you get different type of groups and, what tournaments are kind of popular in different areas that, it's just kind of the fun thing about it. I'm glad Poker Atlas was correct. So sometimes even we have trouble keeping up with that because again, it changes every day. And the poor guy, Mark at Poker Atlas, I have to text and be like, sorry, man, like we gotta change all this stuff and it's on the fly. And they're great though. I really like Poker Atlas. And I think we get a lot of new players like yourself that just pop up and they look at it, and the information is really good. And once you kind of get the idea of how to use Poker Atlas, I think it's great. Every time I've traveled to play poker, I exclusively use them. And this is no plug. I paid to be a sponsor. Like, I pay them for advertising. So this is a totally shameless plug for them. I think if you're a poker player, especially, and I find it incredibly cool that, one, you're going across the country, and two, you called it a Poker Cannonball Run, which is one of my favorite movies in general, like the 80s flicks. So it's cool. I dig it.
Yeah, no, my rules that I set up are starting at the Red Ball Garage on 31st Street in New York. And then whenever you enter a state, you can't leave the state till you cash. So cross the country.
Yeah.
And I thought I could do this in 9 states. And like, people ask me, what are you doing? And I'm like, all right, well, I'll go New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky, Missouri, Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, California. Like that, I've been reciting those 9 states nonstop. And then I wish that I'd planned this out, and theoretically, I've talked to people who've done international travel. They're like, make sure you plan. So I cash in Louisville, and I'm like, okay, how do I get to Missouri? And then there's no roads. The ferry is out because the Mississippi is too low. And I'm like, all right, do I change the rules? Can I like drive around? It's like, no.
Right. Is there an exception here?
That's right.
I don't think anybody would have blamed you for that exception. Like, physically, you'd have to Dukes of Hazzard jump over the Mississippi to get on the other side, or you're going to have to go to a different state. But we're certainly happy that you decided to pick Illinois and make a stop with us. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I looked at, obviously the different routes, and it's like, can I go to Tennessee? Can I go to Illinois? And just the most efficient way seemed to be, and again, I'm in Kentucky. I'm like, all right, I got to drive instead of to St. Louis,
all the way
up to Chicago. Yeah. And then, yes, I'm texting, hey, because I have no time in order to make the 4 o'clock to even stop for food. I'm texting, hey, can I get food? And
so that was you and I texting back and forth.
That's right. You were nice
totally
enough.
Remember this conversation. I was like, yes, they have food. It kind of sucks in the sense of it's like a hot dog and chips and candy and pops and Modelo. Like, those are your options. You can have anything you want as long as it's hot dog, chips, Modelo, or a can of soda, and that's it.
That's right. And so we did text back and forth. Right? And I said, all right, we're going all the way. And we got a hot dog and chowed down on the hot dog to give us a little bit of sustenance in the 4 o'clock. And it totally worked.
Nice.
What sort of percentage goes to the charity, or like, does a lot go to the players, or do charities benefit from this? Like, do charities?
Oh yeah, no, the charities 100% benefit from it, and any like the rake. So it works just like a regular casino, right? So in a cash game, they're going to take 10% up to $5. All that goes to the charity. And then for tournaments, there's always an entry fee and a buy-in. So every time it's listed on the website, and Poker Atlas is really good about this as well. Like the $20 early bird, 15 goes to the players, 5 goes to the hosting charity. I think the Sunday special that you played in the 50, 40 goes to the players, 10 goes to the hosting charity. So, I mean, that's a pretty standard deal. The bigger the buy-ins get, the better the percentage is, because again, dollar for dollar, I mean, when it's a $20 tournament, they got to make something. So they're like, oh, 25% rake. I'm like, well, yeah, but it's a $20 tournament. Like, I can't expect them to ask for less. And $5 seems pretty sincere. And I always tell people, I mean, the $20 early bird, people want to bash it because it's only $20, and you do get a lot of landmines. It's very much, it's a little wild because it's $20, and so people go a little crazy. But $20. I mean, first place is like $300, $400, $500. It's like, well, man, for $20 and I can win. You can't get scratch off lottery tickets that have that good, and you're only playing against 70 or 80 people. And it's not even 70 or 80 people. It's probably 50 people with 80 entries. There's a lot of re-entries in those. So it's great. I mean, it's again, it's a lot of fun, and the charities benefit from it. And we work with, Lord, probably 40 to 50 charities each year to do events. We do almost 200 events a year, 220 something, I think, last year. We're on par to do the same for this year, and so we get to help a lot of groups. And the nice thing about us, and what works well, is that they're small to medium-sized events, or charities, I'm sorry. We work with local VFWs, and we work with traveling baseball teams, and they want to go to Cooperstown, but it's like, man, the parents are already paying so much for their kids to do travel. Do you have any kids?
I do. I've got two kids,
Oh
and
yeah, so
yes,
you know, I
totally
mean,
understand.
they're
Yeah.
expensive. They're a huge leak in my casino poker budget. Um, you know, it's great for those charities because they really do benefit from this. And, you know, we do so many events. They're not huge home runs for them. It's not like the charity poker events we were talking about before where they're trying to raise 50, 60, $70,000. That's not what we do. You know, we're trying to take a small amount so that the poker players are happy, the venues are happy because they're selling some food, the charities are happy because they can keep the lights on for what they're doing. And, you know, everybody wins, which is nice. So it's
Yeah, no,
beneficial.
certainly like looking at the take home prize, and obviously everyone, there's a certain contingent that are complaining about rake.
Right.
But as someone who's like, all right, I'm taking home, a prize that seemed very legitimate for the entry fee, hundreds of dollars on a $40 entry makes,
Right.
total sense as a
Like,
prize.
well, yeah. What more can you ask for?
Exactly. And the other thing that I always say to myself, and it certainly, happens, I live in Las Vegas every summer as the World Series of Poker
Yeah.
runs through. I always have to say to myself, I get the same amount of enjoyment playing poker and playing those hands no matter the buy-in level. And so,
Yeah.
you talk about your budget for poker and things, I have a blast at the low buy-in, the low casino buy-in, whatever it is. I'm still, having a lot of fun just playing cards and playing those hands.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to look at poker in general is that if you can have as much fun playing a $20 tournament and eat cash or not, whatever, because it's sometimes you're like, man, it's a $20 tournament and I'm in cash, which is like $30. You're like, man, I spent all that time for a $10 winner. Like that's not, you spend all that time for entertainment. It's fun. And when people go into it with that kind of aspect, and I also think people get spoiled. I mean, you live in Las Vegas, so it's the poker capital of the United States. I mean, or gambling, whatever we want to call it. I mean, that's where it is, right? You live in Texas, there's all these poker rooms now. Kentucky's got poker rooms, Ohio's got poker rooms. Here in Illinois, we've got charity poker and casinos. We get a little spoiled, and then you get people, you know, Virginia that don't have anywhere to play, and it's like, man, I would love to pay, a 25% rake in a $20 early bird tournament just to be able to go play 3 or 4 times a week. And there's 60, 70. I mean, it's a different experience and it's fun. And I think we get a little spoiled as players when we have so much action. And it's like, I mean, I'm sure you remember when like the online stuff was happening and everything was so small and the rake was tiny and it was great. I mean, it's hard to go back to like reality where it's like, well, yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. We can't do it as much. And, you know, I don't know. I'm always to try to be grateful for what you have and enjoy the game for the game itself. And if you can win a little bit of money, that's great too.
And so this all started, I guess, maybe in sort of that poker online getting off the ground world. How did this organization get started? How did you sort of figure out to do CCG?
Yeah. So, I mean, that was like what, 06, 07. So that was like really like the poker boom. I mean, there was poker all over. My grandparents watched poker on TV, and I mean, they knew who, Phil Locke was, and I'm like, how does my 80-year-old grandmother know who Phil Locke is? I love Phil Locke. He's amazing. And I was like, yeah, he's great, grandma. It's fun. So I mean, everybody was playing it, everybody was watching, and I was working way west of Chicago, like almost 2 hours west of the city proper, living it with my parents. My brother was doing the same. We both just kind of graduated from college. And we used to play another charity organization, Rockford Charitable Games. He's been doing it for, good Lord, I mean, 30 plus years. I mean, a long time. I mean, he'd been doing it for a long time before we even got started, but they were doing a lot of games in Rockford. And I was like, man, it would be great if something was closer to where I live in the western suburbs. They did mostly north and northwest suburbs, and there was no games in the west and southwest suburbs. And I was like, man, this would be great. There was something closer. And then that turned into that. And then my dad's friend we played golf with, he's like, hey, I know you guys play poker. We want to do a poker tournament at the church. Would you be interested in helping us? And I was like, sure. And this kind of all happened. It was like poker boom. Hey, this could maybe work. And then we get this random phone call from my dad's friend, and he's like, we want to do this. And then that was in like November. And then by July, we were doing 8 events a month, and twice a week. And it just snowballed. Which is great. I mean, it's one of those things you kind of get in at the right time, and it worked. And we were able to fill a void, and here we are, 18 years later, still doing it and still trying to, keep the poker scene in Chicago, exciting and new, and try different things. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but we always have fun trying to do it. So, and I think a lot of people appreciate that. They're always like, yeah, that one didn't work out. I was like, yeah, no, it didn't, but whatever. We'll try something else next time, So it's great. The players in Chicago in general are wonderful, and we get such a kind of a following where people get to be kind of diehard fans of our group, and they defend us relentlessly to anybody else. And it's awesome, and I can't say thank you enough for those people, and they're really what makes it happen. And people come, this is their night out, this is what they do for fun, and that's their hobby, and we get to be a part of that, and that's pretty exciting. So
Well, I had a blast. It sort of served my purposes as well, because I really needed to cash in Illinois, but I had an enjoyable hot
only took
dog,
one
an
tournament.
enjoyable, just
Yeah.
one tournament. No,
That's it.
whenever you're looking, you're like, how do I stack up? And this was like the most beautiful thing ever. It's like there's a 2 o'clock, there's a 4 o'clock, there's a main, there's a late night. I'm like, okay, well, I can go to one location and figure out hopefully how to cash in one day. And, you're ready to rebuy and do whatever you need to cash as well.
Sure.
But we, helped a charity, met, so many fantastic people. I had a blast. So thank you for all that organization. Now, if people are in the Chicagoland area or planning to come, how do they learn more about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, I mean, the website's always the number one spot, ccgpoker.com. The CCG stands for Chicago Charitable Games, but it's a mouthful. And as you know, my email address is chicagocharitablegames.com. It's always hard to spell it out. So we kind of shortened it to CCG, makes it a little bit more simple. And everything's on the website. We have a list of upcoming events on each event, for that calendar day. You do have to check the location, because again, remember, we're moving around constantly like a band of poker circus nuts. But I mean, all the information's on there for tournaments. We've always been a big tournament kind of focused group. Not that we don't have side games or cash games in general, but most people come and check the website for the tournaments, see what's going on, and we're always trying something new. We've done tag team events. We do a CSOP, the Chicago Series of Poker. We've been doing that since 2008. And that's like our little version of the series events. They do all kinds of mixed games and fun stuff. So Sunday night, if you stuck around, you would have had to play a mixed game at the end. I don't know what was playing on the night you were there in November, but it was probably, I mean, they were playing stud games, horse, triple draw, deuce of seven triple draw was great. And I'm literally getting people, they're signing up for this $60 tournament, which is a little high, but we did this mixed game series. And I'm explaining to them how deuce to seven works. And I'm like, if that doesn't kind of encapsulate just poker players in general and just our kind of base of people, they're so excited to play, and they're there. And like you were saying, like, I got 4 tournaments to play, and if I got to play in all 4, I'll play in all 4. If I got to play deuce to seven triple draw and I have no idea what that means. Oh, wait, it's limit? What the hell does limit mean? I'm like, well, you can only bet in increments. I can't go all in. No, you can't go all in. Wait, how many cards? 5. And it draw. Yeah, wait, what if I have a straight ace to 5s? No, you don't want an ace. The ace is. It's wonderful to me that people are that excited still about poker. And I've been talking to people lately about like this second poker boom, and it's not quite as big as the first one in the early 2000s, but so many new players, and I see so many younger guys playing and treating the game with respect, where they're not going full degenerate yet. And that does happen, and it's sad. You can always see people do it, but I would say 95% of the people who play poker, they're like you. I want to play in a tournament. I'll stay all day. You can have a hot dog, maybe a beer, and enjoy it and meet some cool people. And, it's a blast.
Well, I did have a blast, and I found it very welcoming. And, there was this sort of vibe of we're helping the charity, but we're there to play serious poker too. It comes with dealers, which is always fantastic when you don't have to deal yourself like you do in the home game. It was a blast. So we appreciate you telling us a little bit more about what is behind the scenes of CCG. And again, it sounds like that's ccgpoker.com if you're in the Chicago area. And we really appreciate it, Ken.
Oh, thank you for having me, and good luck. Hopefully you don't get stuck somewhere out west, for multiple months trying to cash in a tournament, because that I know that happens to me occasionally. I mean, I never have to stay in one location. I think it's cool. I think it's an awesome idea, and good luck with the rest of the trip. Where do you end the trip? I know you said California. But I mean, what's the last stop?
So if you do a true cannonball run where you're just trying to drive as fast as possible, you start at the Red Ball Garage on 31st Street in New York City. And then the finish line is in the Los Angeles area, Redondo Beach, the Portofino Hotel.
Oh, wow.
And so you need to start in New York, you need to finish in LA, and then sort of to your point, I have budgeted extra time for New Mexico. Utah has no poker, right? And so you sort of have to figure out where you can go that there are poker tournaments. Unfortunately, now more than 20 years ago, there is a way to cross the U.S. with poker tournaments, but New Mexico doesn't have them every day. So we could get stuck in New Mexico. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, if you need any help or anything, certainly hit us up. We'd be happy to. I'm sure we have a former charity poker player at some point who's moved to New Mexico and be like, hey, we got this home game on Thursday nights at whatever, we'll get you.
We got to set it up officially. Yeah.
Right, for sure. Well, cool. Thank you so much for having me, and good luck, and we're excited to see how it all finishes.
Awesome, Ken. Thank you so much, and have a good one.
Thanks so much for watching. Let's close with the profit and loss tracker. Next episode, we're off to Missouri. If you could please like, comment, subscribe, that really helps me be able to make more content for the channel.